It's a freezing morning here by the Mississippi in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I've come to what will be the last leg of this knowledge exchange violin trip, and I'm very pleased that it will be here. Over the past few years, my wife Melina and I have been writing a book about artists and musicians who traveled across America, most particularly to the Midwest, with a big focus on the great Norwegian violinist Ole Bull. And in the next 2 days, I will be making a film in the Sheppard Club Museum, which lives in the old post office building, which is, you can't see it, but it is in the city behind me up here. And the reason I'm going to be talking about St. Paul, about Ole Bull there, is that he was one of the very first classical musicians to find his way here and to play actually on both sides of the river. Here, not far, in fact you should be able to see it, just beyond there, Irvine Park, on this side of the river in the early 1850s, and then upriver on the other side. You can't see it, but Minneapolis is over there, to give concerts with his pianist Strakos and the very young soprano Adelina Patti. And the story of those concerts is not only the story of how music and musicians first found their way away from the eastern seaboard into the Midwest, and Bull was a pioneer there, but also the story of how these pioneer communities, because really these now great cities were no more than small collections of houses, in this case down by the ferry landing there. It's a story of how they were built. And in the case of this city, one of the things that accelerated that was the railways. If you look just up here, you'll see the lights of an enormous goods train, which is about to travel it's about to travel south on the lines which go along here and then along Sheppard Street by the river. Of course, until the railway was there were houses running down to not houses here, there would have been grain elevators and other such running down to the river. There were houses running down to the river over there. And up on the top of the hill, which you can't see us behind the city here, is the bluff of Summit, the old St. Paul. And that's where James Hill, who pioneered the Great Northern Railway, built his enormous mansion from which he could look down on the tracks here like an enormous train set, I like to think. And the very first railway engine to find its way here, the W.M. Crookes #1, was brought up the river from the south to a landing stage just around about here in 1862, and first ran on a bit of tracks near the St. Anthony Falls later that year. It's preserved. If you go far to the north to Duluth, you'll see in the wonderful railway museum there, you'll see this wonderful engine is preserved. So now I'm going to wait for this train to pull out and go and find myself some coffee and start getting work ready for the couple of days filming, exploring music in the Midwest in the 1850s.